A political battle has erupted in the United States over the Trump administration's actions against USAID. Now, dozens of USAID's senior officials have been sent on leave. Thousands of its contractors have been laid off as the State Department has now taken over the humanitarian agency with the Secretary of State Marco Rubio as its acting director. A group of about a dozen congressional Democrats on Monday were blocked from entering the agency's headquarters in Washington. The group engaged in a brief exchange of security officials as they were told that the front office of the administration of USAID was not available for any meeting anymore. The lawmakers said that they were working to file legal proceedings to stop Trump administration from undoing USAID. They also claimed that Donald Trump's aide and Tesla CEO Elon Musk has taken over the federal government.
They shut down agencies illegally. And sure, first it was USAID. But they are now systematically going into the Small Business Administration, the Department of the Treasury, and they will not stop until they believe they have total control over spending.
An unelected shadow government is conducting a hostile takeover of the federal government. Last Friday, DOJ forcefully gained access to the Treasury Department's payment systems and to the most sensitive information of virtually every U.S. citizen.
In 1961, the Congress had passed the Foreign Assistance Act, and then President John F. Kennedy had set up USAID as an independent agency, as he wanted a more efficient way to counter the Soviet influence abroad through foreign assistance. However, the agency has outlived the Soviet Union, which, remember, fell in 1991. In the decades since, the Republicans and the Democrats have fought over the agency and also its funding and its utility. The Republicans have pushed to give the State Department, which used to provide the overall foreign policy guidance to USAID until now, more control over its policy and funds, while the Democrats have promoted the agency's autonomy. Now, the agency employs nearly about 10,000 people, two-thirds of whom work abroad. And it has bases in more than 60 countries, and it works in dozens of others. Now, according to government data, USAID has nearly $40 billion budget after the Republicans seized power from the Democrats and Trump returned to the White House. One of his very first actions was to sign an executive order pausing almost all international spending for a period of 90 days, while a review could be carried out. A memo was then issued by the State Department, which halted the vast majority of work being done by USAID on the ground. Now, the worst affected would, of course, be the sub-Saharan Africa, which received more than $6.5 billion in terms of humanitarian assistance from the United States. Last year, the aid community is struggling to get the full picture of how many programs have shut down, but Latin America is already facing ramifications. In Mexico, a busy shelter for migrants in southern Mexico has been left without a doctor. A program to provide mental health support for LGBTQ+ youth who are trying to flee from Venezuela was disbanded. The tensions between the White House and USAID have escalated over the weekend when officials working for Elon Musk, who Trump has tasked with identifying spending cuts in the federal budget, were allegedly denied access to secure financial data at the USAID headquarters. Now, later on social media, Musk said that he went into the details of USAID with Trump and he agreed that it should be shut down. But today, the government has announced that the State Department has taken over the USAID. Confirming the takeover and also his appointment as the acting director of USAID, Marco Rubio has accused it of acting as if it were an independent, non-governmental entity, alleging that in many cases it was involved in programs that run counter to the national strategy. The White House press secretary Caroline Leavitt went into the details later.
If you look at the waste and abuse that has run through USAID over the past several years, these are some of the insane priorities that organization has been spending money on. $1.5 million to advance DEI in Serbia's workplaces, $70,000 for a production of a DEI musical in Ireland, $47,000 for a transgender opera in Colombia, $32,000 for a transgender comic book in Peru. I don't know about you, but as an American taxpayer, I don't want my dollars going towards this crap.